When the screen goes dark and the world won't start, you know who to call, yeah. Watching you struggle with that frozen screen. 3 days now and you're losing your mind. I see it tapping and nothing's working right. Daniel's got that look in his eyes. From sunrise to the end of the day, you're always fixing what's broken away. Why do you always stay when everyone else would walk away? Why do you always care, Daniel? Why you always there? Coffee's getting cold while you run diagnostics, explaining every step like I'd understand. Your hands move fast across the keyboard, magic, making sense of what I can't comprehend. From sunrise to the end of the day, you're always fixing what's broken away. Why do you always stay when everyone else would walk away? Why do you always care, Daniel? Why you always there? Maybe it's not about the broken parts. Maybe it's about the way you see. Every problem has a beating heart. You won't give up on me. Now the screen's alive and everything's running smooth. You pack your tools with that quiet smile. I know tomorrow when something breaks loose, you'll be back here in a little while. That's why you always stay when everyone else walk away. That's why you always care, Daniel. That's why you're always there. When the screen goes dark and the world won't start, I know who to call, yeah.
Well, welcome, everybody. This is the alternate week, so we are doing miscellaneous cases. Good afternoon, Trin. Good to see you. So yeah, we're doing every once in a while I'll alternate. I'll do a regular court with Simpson and all of them, and then I'll alternate to different judges, changing up the material a little bit. So it's been slow. It's been really slow. Let's check on our other channel just for a brief second. And we're up to 8 subscribers on the new channel. Alright, so let's get this started. Yeah, I do too. Oh. All right. So share screen. Make this bigger.
They were claiming they were looking for coyotes.
Yeah, they were claiming coyotes.
How many times?
Every single time was coyotes.
Okay, every night. How many nights about?
It was on a regular basis, 7 nights a week.
Okay. And how long did that go on for?
That went on for months. And then they resorted to the front and used the public roadway instead. And they would walk my property line, stop at my property line, and then flash the lights into my house while my 9-year-old is in my living room and it's 10:30 at night. And she's like, what the heck is happening? And she just walked back to her house. But she would do this at least every single night for like a week straight.
Okay, and that was after you complained about them coming in trespassing in the backyard?
Yep. And then we ended up putting fences up in the backside just to keep them out.
My favorite Factor meals ranked. All right, let's get into it. Packed with protein, tasted way better than I expected.
Okay. Before the fences went up, would they actually come into your property?
Yes.
Okay. And you put fences up and then they stayed off the property, but they'd come to the property line in front after that?
Yes.
And again, the incidents with them shining in lights into the front of your house, how many times did that happen?
That happened at least 3 times a night.
3 times per night. So at different times each night?
It was like per night, like every out, it was weird because it was random times, but it would be at nighttime where the flashlights would be supposedly needed. But across the street neighbor has a very bright light, and we do have one street light right there. So I don't really understand why. And they put massive lights on their house. So I don't know why they were using flashlights in the first place. They already have the sun in their yard.
Okay. And when you say flashlights, are these regular, like a handheld flashlight that you might?
They're like massive, like the LED, like massive lights where they're stupid bright.
Okay, with like an extra lens that you can focus and stuff like that.
Yep, and then it was like the one that you can change the size of, like the ray of the light.
Adjustable beam type thing. Yeah. All right. And you said they. When you say they, who is they?
It was usually Brittany and her mother Alice. Alice started the reindeer games, and then Brittany joined in.
Why did you get the PPO against Brittany, just out of curiosity?
I got it because my children were becoming scared of being at home. And if their dad is gone, how else am I supposed to protect them?
But why not against Alice, I guess, if she's involved too?
That was Seth. Seth actually got the PPO on Alice. Usually she would torment Seth when I'm not home. So I can't really exactly put a PPO on her because she was targeting him for a while.
Okay, so Seth does have one against Alice, just not you.
Just not me.
Got it. Okay. Okay, all right. I think those are all of my questions that I have for you. I will go to Ms. Mullins, get a response.
Okay.
All right, Ms. Mullins, if you please unmute. And if you'd raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that your testimony today will be the truth and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Very good. Ms. Mullins, in your response to Ms. Malecki's PPO request, you say, well, there was missing cat, and there was an incident with phone flashlights looking for the cat on the fence line. That sounds a lot different than what Ms. Malecki's describing.
Yeah, and I didn't get her
The petition?
yeah,
Or the
so
PPO?
I didn't know what she said, so I assumed it was the same as Seth's. But
It was, this first part of it was mostly the same, at least.
right. But even so, the incidences that she's talking about with the flashlights, was my mom's dog got bit by a coyote and it was very severe. So we would shine the flashlights and it was not really me. And so I didn't live there at that time around the
Okay,
time.
how long ago was that going on?
I want to say like a year and a half ago. Like it was, I can't remember when Tunes got bit, maybe in 2024 or end of 2023.
Okay.
But
That was when the bite happened and the coyotes?
I'm not sure on the specifics. I don't really remember when it happened because it's Tunes. It's my mom's dog, not mine. My mom's house.
Did you live there with your mom?
No, and I wasn't staying there then either. So
Back in July, were you staying there when the PPO was filed?
well, my mom babysits my children, and I do stay there sometimes.
Okay, it's kind of in and out sometimes.
Yes.
Okay, and now this says here, it sounds like it wasn't you, at least on this,
Yeah, the other one,
the cat incident, it was your two sisters?
yes.
Okay.
I wasn't even involved in that situation at all.
Okay, so that's not what, but I mean, I have two really different situations here. So you said sometimes you did go out and look for coyotes after the dog
Where
bite?
I would let Tunes out, but not shining. Oh, in
You had your flashlights with you, but you weren't shining them in the house?
no, not at their house. Their windows, like it's their house and then their garage. So it's not even in the direction that we would shine them, which would be toward the golf course that's behind the house. And that was just for Tunes' safety.
I mean, you're saying you were shining them out there to see if there are any coyotes that might come and endanger the dog?
Yes. Before
How many times did that happen?
I mean, just when we would take Tunes out is when that would happen.
Toons is the dog?
Yes.
Okay. So, and would it just be who's taking Toons out when Toons goes out? You and your mom or who?
My mom usually does it, but when she's not there, then I would if I was there, then I would let her out if Tunes got to go out at
Yeah. What time at night about?
9 o'clock.
Okay. So it'd be dark.
Yeah.
And does Toons stay on a leash when he goes out, or does he just go out?
No, she's a little dog.
Okay, so no leash, but he just goes out to go to the restroom.
Yes.
For students drowning in research papers, Grammarly helped me strike the right tone, whether I was requesting research opportunities or begging.
And she's
Did you ever see a coyote when you're shining the lights?
yes, we have seen coyotes, and my mom talked to the coyote hunt. Oh, what are they called? The guys that would bait the coyotes and stuff.
Coyote control people?
Yeah, I guess. Sorry.
Okay, well, I mean, does the park do anything about the coyotes?
The park?
The park, is this a trailer park or is this a
No.
subdivision?
It's a subdivision.
Okay, all
No,
right.
they do not.
And they don't do anything
No.
about
no.
it. They view them as a golf course problem, probably.
Yeah.
Do you know when the dog got bit? Was the dog at your house, or
Yes.
did the dog wander to the golf course or
The
something?
dog was in our yard. I
Okay,
heard her outside.
coyote bit him, and you didn't see the dog get bit. You just heard about it from your mom.
No, I was there. I was there in the bathroom, so I heard her outside yelping, and
Okay,
so I know it was close to our house.
yeah. And about when did the bite happen?
late, 10 p.m.
In what year about? Was it last year or?
22.
Okay, so a little while ago.
Yeah, like I said,
And your testimony today is you are shining them a distance because you're trying to see what's on the golf course.
right.
Thus, they're going to shine past the petitioner's house, possibly in the windows, although some windows would be blocked by the garage. But even if they accidentally shine in the windows or part of the beam shines in the windows, your intention is to look out on the golf course for coyotes.
Right.
Did you ever, any police reports or animal control, anything like that about the coyote bite?
No.
Okay. All right. What about the allegations that after this fence went up, you began walking around the front of the house and shining the lights in the front windows?
No. I've never done that after the fence was put up.
Okay, so you don't walk the dog or go out there on the street at night?
Recently I have been. The fence has been, I don't know when it was first put up.
Okay, well, when you're walking the dog, are you bringing a flashlight with you?
I would walk to get on DoorDash. No,
I
I
see.
would walk the dog.
Explain that to me. Okay, you're walking to get on DoorDash. You're trying to get in range of a Wi-Fi signal or
Zone to be able to get on time.
I
So
see.
a house or two past Seth's house is in the zone.
Okay, so you walk down there and this is
Just
kind of a
yeah.
check-in. I don't, never delivered DoorDash, so I don't know how it works, but you kind of check in to let them know you're in the zone and available to make a delivery?
Right.
Okay, so no dog with you when you're doing this. This is just
No.
you?
And right.
Do you bring a flashlight with you when you do said walk?
Only to see where I'm going and for bugs because I have I use my phone, but I'm really scared of bugs. I don't like them. So
Okay, so you're using your phone light, not a regular flashlight?
exactly. Yes.
Okay, so not as intense a beam or directed
Right.
beam as the flashlight.
Right.
You just go down the sidewalk with this and you
Well,
don't
there isn't
step
a
on a bug.
sidewalk.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
There isn't a sidewalk, so I use my
Okay.
phone to see where I'm going and where
This is
I'm
the edge of the road then.
right.
And when you're on the edge of the road, is it on the road near the side of the road nearest to Sarah's and Seth's house?
No.
You're on the opposite side of the road?
Right. Or
Okay.
or like a just walking across the street and then walking towards
And then you walk and you're kind of facing traffic on that. So you're walking towards traffic on the your
no,
left side of the road
no,
Okay.
I'm walking with traffic.
with traffic.
Yeah. I started doing that after Seth called the police the first time on me. And the police came out because he said that I was doing it that same night, but I hadn't even gone out that night.
Okay. Well, and what did you tell the police that?
Yes, and I have proof. I have video proof, but the police said it didn't matter. That I had not gone out or did that night.
Yeah, I mean, the police didn't arrest or take any law enforcement action, anything like that. They just took a report.
Right.
Okay. All right. And your understanding was the allegation that night was not that you were walking out at night with a light on, but that you were shining a light in their window.
All right, I found this website, Review Quotes, and it just asked me a very simple question of how much weight do you want to lose?
Right, that's what they said, and the police said that it could have been anyone. So if it wasn't you, then it still could have been someone else.
Well, I'm getting the idea this is kind of a dark. It's not like you're walking on Ionia on Friday night in downtown Grand Rapids with crowds of people. There are only a few people or no people besides you out there, I
Right.
think. So, I mean, the idea could have been anyone. I mean, there aren't that many people that walk up and down the street, or am I wrong on that?
Right, exactly. But I did not go out that night.
Okay, that was
And I
not
wouldn't
you that
shine it
night.
at their house. No, I would shine it where I'm going, or if I get freaked out by a bug, I might like,
Jerk around and point in a different direction, and this
yeah,
is just your cell
right.
phone light.
Right. And I let the police know that too, and I'm sure they let Seth know that. So it was never intentionally pointed toward his house to look inside his windows or to go inside his house. Like, I'm not worried about that. I don't, that's not what's on my mind.
That's good. That's a good thing.
I try
Right.
and avoid them altogether because of the issues we've been having for the last 3 years.
I see. And what other issues have you had besides the ones you just described?
Well, none of them actually really has anything to do with me. They're with my family.
Yeah.
Like in the PPO order, most of it is for my family, not even with me. So I don't understand why they
And
got
there you're saying like there's trespassing and the dog pooped in my yard kind of stuff, and
yeah,
those things?
there's petty little things that don't really have anything to do with me.
Okay. Now, if I enforce this against you, the limitations it puts on you, let me take a look here on how I did this thing.
Well,
Right, I didn't put the appearing within sight. I crossed that out because you're so close to each other.
oh,
But you can't follow them. You can't appear at their residence, and you can't contact or threaten to kill or injure them. You can't purchase or possess a firearm. Is that an issue for you?
no,
Did you hold it?
none of it is, but he had called the police after it had been filed, and because he had seen me, he intentionally walked outside when he saw me drive by because my son was sleeping. And then when I went to this cul-de-sac and I came back, my son was still sleeping, and I seen Seth on the phone, and he walked inside as soon as he seen me. And I only seen that because their friends had been harassing me for 3 days to sign something. So that's
Okay, what's that about their friends?
probably the petition or whatever serving.
Oh,
me.
maybe they were serving you.
Right.
I
So
see.
that's how that's why I remember so vividly that he intentionally walked outside when he saw to see me. And then he called the cops, and the cops came, and my children were in the car, but they were going to take me to jail because he had seen me, and it was against the PPO.
I see, because you'd already been served with the PPO at that point, and right.
No,
Well,
they served me then.
at that moment, I see.
Right.
Yeah, right. But if the PPO had been in place, although I did delete the appearing within my sight, you're not following him. I guess arguably, if you're driving past his house, you could be appearing at his residence. Although I usually, there has to be more than just driving past. Generally, it's something along the lines of pulling into their driveway or stopping in front of their house, and
I have never done
something
that.
like that. Okay. All right. Anything else you need to tell me about? And what about the claims? I haven't heard from Seth Mullins yet. I intend to this afternoon. I'm going to swear him in and see what he can add to it. Is there anything different about that you're aware of? You said you assumed his claims, and as I read the claims, at least regarding the lights, which were the number one concern for me.
We don't even use the flashlights anymore. Really. We haven't used the flashlights all year. So I
haven't
don't
done the
understand.
coyote watch this
No.
summer because of the stress.
It's not coyote season, really.
It's not really coyote season, but the flashlight broke, really, honestly.
Okay,
So
well, that's another reason, but there
we
are
don't-
other flashlights out there. I don't want the problem resurfacing. What about using your phone when you're walking to the DoorDash boundary? You still do that?
no, I haven't been able to go back to the house because of the PPO order.
Okay,
That's
well,
what the cops told me.
seems like a very broad interpretation of the PPO. You mean go back to your mom's house?
Yes.
Because it would take you past Seth and Sarah's house?
No, because it's next door. The cops told me that it would be best if I didn't come back.
Well, that is true. That's the safest way to assure not landing in jail for violating the PPO. However, the PPO doesn't say you, of course, can't go to your mom's house. It just precludes you from having any interaction with Seth and Sarah. So, okay. All right. Anything else you need to tell me, Ms. Mullins?
No, I crossed it off. Oh, no.
Okay, well, let me swear in Mr. Brown here from him. Mr. Brown, if you would please unmute and raise your right hand.
So that was crossed off.
Yeah, it was crossed off.
So this is bullshit.
And you have to unmute, Mr. Brown, so I can hear you.
Like we thought. No.
And Doug.
Are you here for Tracy?
We're here.
You had to push that little red microphone button on there somewhere.
There we go.
Perfect. If you'd raise your right hand, do you solemnly swear or affirm that your testimony today will be the truth and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Very good. All right. And I have yours, Ms. Malecki. And what's the relationship between you and Ms. Malecki?
Miss Malecki is my fiance. We have 2 children together.
Okay.
We've been together 15 or 16 years now.
So the two of you have lived at this residence for a while?
The backstory on the residence, this is my mother's house. She passed away when I was 18. I rented the house out until I felt appropriate to bring my family here and try and live in a good neighborhood and raise my kids around good people.
What year was that about that you moved in?
I believe we moved back here in 2019.
Okay. And how old are your kids about?
My oldest just turned 14. My youngest just turned 9 back in June.
Okay. All right. And do you agree with what Sarah testified about regarding what the lights in the back windows and front windows were like?
I do. It's been such a long ongoing issue that never really got resolved, that there may be a little discrepancy, but yeah, for a few summers, nearly every night, 2-3 times a night, anywhere from 9 p.m. till 4 a.m., they'd be out in the golf course and they'd walk out into the golf course, and then when they were walking back, they'd shine their lights at everybody's houses, which just seemed weird because maybe there is coyotes. I've never seen one here, but I mean, it's a 40-acre golf course. There could be coyotes hiding back there, but they're definitely not in our windows or on our roof or, I would take care of that before. I'm sorry.
Golf course?
Ironwood Golf Course.
Ironwood. Okay. And the housing development kind of borders the golf course, I take it?
Yeah, some houses have fences at the property line to the golf course. Most of them do not. I only put a fence up because her brother had come in my yard and started a fire in my fire pit at midnight one night a few years ago.
And you say her brother, Miss Mullins' brother?
Yes,
Okay.
Preston. I had a PPO on him as well, but
Okay, not an issue today, but it's safe to say there's been conflict between you and that family for years.
yeah, they built a fire pit next to my shed. I had to have the fire department come out 3 different times to tell them to move it because it was in an unsafe location, and they just kept moving it and rebuilding it closer to my shed. So it's been pretty, it's been pretty wild. I have never met people that behave like this, and it's scary to me personally. And that's kind of why I'm here with the PPOs, because I just want to be left alone on my property. I've begged them to do that, and they continue to send person after person to continue harassing us. And
your membership is more than just a card. It's your gateway.
I don't know what to do.
So your perception is this goes beyond anything between you and any one of the people. Brittany Mullins, for example, it's like I'm going to describe as a family feud, the Hatfields and the McCoys, where, because of the fire pit and some longstanding issues, it sounds like maybe there were some dog conflicts about dogs pooping and where they do that, that it created bad blood, and this is just an extension of that.
That would be a fair summation, I suppose. Alice has been the one that started it all, and I know that has nothing to do with this, so I won't elaborate on that. I'm sure we'll probably
And
speak.
Alex's brother?
Alice is her mother.
Alice is the mom. Okay.
I may have not enunciated that very well.
Nope, that's okay. All right. So when I heard from Miss Brittany Mullins, she testified that after you built the fence to, did that solve the problem of the flashlights in the backyard?
No, more problems just arose. They moved their trampoline right next to the fence, and they give their kids balls to play with on the trampoline, which I can't remember the name of the American Association of Pediatrics, I believe, recommends highly against letting kids use balls on trampolines just for the safety of children. But they put their trampoline right next to my fence and give the kids a bunch of balls to play with, and then a bunch of the balls will end up in my yard. And, either the kids or the adults would come over and get the balls and say, well, we're just getting the balls. But the problem I have is that all occurred after I had said, stay off my property for any reason. I've been threatened by multiple people from that house. I don't want anybody from there coming on my property and causing problems anymore after that. Okay. And it just little things like that keep going on. And I had recommended Brittany one day had come outside and asked me to throw a ball back. And I had suggested to her maybe they move the trampoline a few feet away from the fence so the balls stop coming into my yard. And I got met with, you can't effing tell people what to do with stuff on their property, Seth. And I just let it be because I wasn't going to entertain the argument.
Right.
And
right.
she's right.
You're protecting your property, right? Yeah.
I was trying to be proactive to the situation and offer a suggestion that might stop the problem for both of us. And I got met with aggression and hostility for doing so.
All right. Well, let me return. The main reason I granted this were the flashlight incident,
Yes.
flashlight incidents, because I could certainly see the issue. And your testimony is that was Brittany and her sister. Now, when you say they came into your yard, you mean they were walking in your yard?
Stop wasting your time doing math to hit your protein goals. Free high protein breakfast for a year? Yeah, that's real.
Okay, so I'm guessing we're talking about the time that she said the cat's collar was on the fence or something.
No, I'm asking you. This is your statement in your PPO. It says 8 months ago, Brittany and her sister came into my yard. Now, 8 months before July makes it like November.
I may have undercut it. May have been 9 or 10 months. Cause I think it was October-ish, give or take a month. I can't recall entirely.
And that's what I'm going to call the flashlights incident.
Okay. So for that one, what I had noticed was I was in my dining room and all of a sudden there was flashlights coming through the side yard. And then they were in our backyard and shining them at our house again, which could have been them turning to leave the yard and just accidentally flashing them in the house, I guess. I mean, now that we're so far away removed from it, I could see that maybe as a reason, but they still were told to stay off my property many times. So,
but would they have had to be in your yard to shine the lights like that, or could they have shined them through your, they might have been off the property, but still shining the lights in there?
So my security camera that the police recommended I get because of the discrepancies that always seem to be with these issues between us. The security camera, my fence, there was a post on my property line lined up with the garage. So my camera could see if you came around that post, you were on my yard.
Mm-hmm.
And they came around the post, it's on camera. And they came into the backyard. I think the back camera at the time too also picked them up back there shining lights. And they did it at 11:30 and then again at like 12:30 at night. And to me, that's, my kids are sleeping. And I think one of them that night was up in the kitchen getting a drink and they were freaked out because all of a sudden there's lights flying in, and it's like, what the heck? Like, who's in our yard? I put up fences. I said, stay out. Why don't they understand how to simply just be courteous as neighbors and say, look, we don't get along. I'm going to stay out of your yard. Like, yeah, I don't go into their yard, and they've never asked me to stay out of it.
Okay.
So I just don't understand why we can't treat each other with the same respect, I guess, you know?
Yeah. Well, now let me move. So this happened then maybe sometime last fall with the flashlights in the backyard. When did you put up your fence?
The fence, so I put up the fence it was about late August 2023. I had put the fence up because I was trying to map some stuff out on my property. I was thinking of building a pole barn, and I was just lining up with my shed for, you know, mapping purposes of my own. The fence was completely on my property, and the day I put it up, Brittany's mother came over, knocked at my front door, and cussed me out to no end. You know, you need to take that effing thing down. It's effing illegal. You can't put that thing there. I'm going to call the cops. I'm going to do all these things. And I just kind of told her, have a nice day. It's a temporary fence. It's on my property. It's not even on your property. So you have no right to be upset. And I just let it be. A few days later, her mom ran the fence over with a lawnmower because she was upset about it. So that's kind of how a lot of this all started. Was I put a fence up on my property to try and do some work in my yard, and I got met with aggression and hostility from the beginning of it all. And the temporary fence has kind of stayed up since then to try and prevent them from coming in my yard, which I've had to upgrade the fence to metal, just because they let their animals run free, which, I mean, there are leash laws. You're not supposed to let your dog run into your neighbor's yard and take a dump and then, you know, so I have had animal control out over that, or called them. I can't remember if they came out or not, but so again, I'm rambling, and I'm sorry. That's kind of off subject.
Yeah, no, I'm kind of getting a sense for what happened, you know, throughout this whole situation. What about the scenario with your claim about the lights? Well, and actually, yeah, that was a few nights ago. She was walking, and so this would be a few nights before you filed in July, on my property line and home, as she does multiple times per day. Again, shining her flashlight in our window, scaring our daughter. Was that on the back of the house or the front of the house?
That was in the front. So that night, I hate to go into a ramble again, but this one is specific to the situation.
Yeah.
So that night, my family and I, we noticed there was nobody home next door, so we felt safe to go outside and have a little bonfire and cook some hot dogs and stuff, and just have a nice family night in the yard. Since we, you know, they weren't outside, we felt safe that no one's gonna start nonsense. And about 20 minutes after I started the fire, I hear at the backslider door to the neighbor's house, I hear, oh, they're outside. Go play. Be nice and loud, or be loud, or something. That's not paraphrased word for word, but you get the sense of, hey, they're outside. Go be noisy and bother them. So I heard that, and I waited a little while. I'm like, okay, the kids are out here just doing death wails at the top of their lungs, standing right next to the fence. Like, this is weird.
And when you say the kids, whose kids are these? They're
I don't know. There's anywhere from 8 to 12 kids that seem to live next door, and I don't know
them to go outside. Did you recognize the voice?
I did not, to be completely honest. It could have been her sister. It could have been Brittany. I know it wasn't her mother. That much I can say for sure.
Okay. All right. So the kids are out wailing and yelling, and but I mean, they're staying on their own property. They're not necessarily trespassing.
Yes. Correct.
Okay.
So my fiance and I have been going to counseling, trying to figure out how to deal with situations kind of like this. And I go to counseling as well, trying to figure out ways to cope and deal with it.
best 200-word essay in 10 minutes will win $200.
I think I'll win.
No, I'm gonna win.
They're both writing about the impacts of AI, and I'm betting on Thomas because he's actually using Grammarly's AI tools, while Cassidy isn't.
So researching things can be a little hard.
Grammarly is a real-time thought partner that helps you brainstorm initial topics and gives feedback on your work to help you get good grades with confidence. When you need to cite sources, Grammarly generates free auto citations instantly with no need to leave your webpage or type them in manually.
This is so good.
This is not gonna happen.
Time's up. Stop typing.
Okay, I don't think you want to see this. There's a lot of errors.
All right, up to mine.
I think Thomas won. Sign up for Grammarly for free today.
Right.
One thing I did, I pulled my car into the backyard and I turned my music on because I'd rather hear my music than their kids screaming.
Sure.
And my counselor recommends listening to French music because it helps something in your mind kind of calm down. I'm not going into the science behind that, but
Guess those French people are always calm. So
it's a language of love, you know. So we turned the radio up and we just kept the volume right there with the kids, you know, as loud as their kids were being. I'm going to keep the volume right there with it so I can hear my music over your kids. You send them out here to antagonize us. I can solve it by listening to music and we'll be okay. And it was 8 o'clock at night or something, so it wasn't midnight and I've got music blaring.
Okay.
That is the night when Brittany, she walked past our house 3 or 4 times that night, and she never left her house either to go do a DoorDash or whatever she's claiming to go there to be in service of. So maybe it was something else that night she was going to do. I don't know. I'm not her. I'm not going to assume, but I noticed her walking back and forth repetitively, and she's the only one with long hair. Her sister, well, the sister that lives there has shorter hair, and her other sister has longer hair, I think, but she keeps it up most of the time in a really tight ponytail. So you can tell it's Brittany by the hair. And like I said, she walked past 3 or 4 times, and after a while, our youngest went in the house, and she was in the living room. And that was when she had came back out to the fire, and she goes, "Someone's walking by the house shining flashlights in it, and I don't know what to do." And I'm like, "What?" So I went in and shut doors, locked them, and everything I could just in case, because I've been threatened by a few people from next door, like they're gonna kick my ass and they're gonna do really bad things to me. Pardon my language, but so I am terrified of the behavior, and I don't know what's gonna come next. You know.
Well, let me pause you. When you went inside, Mr. Brown, did you see the lights coming in the window that your daughter?
No, but I did not. Our security camera on the front door, though, it did pick up all of the behavior of Brittany outside of her house, which I don't know how she can prove with video that she wasn't out there doing it when I've got her on video doing it. So it's kind of
say she walked out with, and she said she had her camera with the light on the camera to kind of watch where she was going, you know, and because she doesn't like bugs. But I mean, to me, there's a big difference between having a light on a cell phone, which is kind of a bright but a very short range light, I guess, and a beam of a flashlight. Which one was it that you could see?
In the video, it was harder to tell, but she did have 2 lights. One did look brighter than the other. So my guess would be maybe she had her phone and a flashlight and was walking. Again, I've seen them outside with their giant spotlight in the front on, and then they've still got flashlights looking up against the house. Like, I don't understand the behavior.
They're looking up against your house in that instance.
No, in this instance that I'd be referring to, like, they've got their giant floodlight on the front of the house, and then they'd be in their front yard with their bright flashlight looking up against their own house where the light from their spotlight is illuminating it, and they'd be out there for 20 minutes looking for something. Like, I don't understand it. And
Yeah, you're right. That's not directed at you. That's just unexplainable behavior.
yeah, so it's between the unexplainable behaviors, the threats, the continuance of everything, and the way that, it started Alice with the fence and stuff, and then Preston I ended up getting PPO on because of threatening me.
And that's the one who's made physical threats is the brother. It's not Miss Brittany Mullins.
Correct. Preston, the brother, made the physical threats a few years ago, and I believe it was you back then that granted me a PPO on him as well. He tried to defend it in court, saying he never threatened me, and his closing argument was, Your Honor, the first time I threatened Mr. Brown. So
I
I
do
think
so
he
many
put
of
his
these, I
mouth-
can't remember, but if you say it's true, but I may have said it. So yeah, so I mean, again, it illustrates the tension that exists. Does the brother live there full time?
No, after the PPO on him, he had moved out, and that's when Brittany had moved in with her 5 kids. Apparently, I thought she only had 3, so I don't know them all that well. I knew their dad before he had passed away. I knew him very well. He was a great guy. God rest his soul. I personally think he'd be spinning in his grave with the behavior his family's been displaying, though. And I
don't want to involve him since he's passed. So, what about the incident you said with her driving past and her is Brittany flipping you off?
Okay, I was outside shooting some hoops in my driveway. Again, I've played basketball since I was 5. I mean, it's just a good stress relief. It keeps me active. And I was outside shooting hoops, and a car was driving by. And the way my basketball hoop is, I'm generally looking at the oncoming traffic coming down the road.
Sure.
And I noticed it was Brittany driving up. And I figured she was going to pull into her driveway because it's a dead end and there's nothing down there really that they do. So there's no reason to go down there other than to drive past and harass me if you see me outside. So as she drives past, I notice her hand go up like this.
Join me for the future of health. 2 hours every day under 4,000.
Because I guess she had to let me know how she felt. I don't know what the reason was, but I laughed it off, but it still just feels like harassment that, in a normal, decent neighborhood, people wouldn't be doing to each other. They've gone outside, flipped my cameras off, and sat there talking to them. I mean, I don't get it. They put cameras up too. I don't really care. They can watch whatever I do. I'm not worried about it.
Yeah, so in your view, this provoking behavior is coming from them. You've had a role in it, but yours has been, you've made a few suggestions, and those have been angrily rebuffed, like about the balls on the trampoline, and you're trying to not engage from your perspective.
Correct. That's why I've been attending counseling for the last 2 years now to try and just take any of my grievances there, so I'm not bringing it to anyone else in the neighborhood or stressing my own family out with it. And it's taken a big impact on my life just to have neighbors like this. And my bigger issue is I used to rent my house out. I know our houses are only zoned to have 5 occupants over the age of 1 year old based on square footage of bedrooms. And the township codes. And somehow there has been more than 10 people living in this rental house next to me ever since Alice had moved back in when John had passed away.
Have you raised that with the township and the zoning people that would enforce that?
I have. The day before zoning people came to do their inspection, I noticed multiple beds leaving the house. And then after the inspection, the beds came back in the house. So
your view is that they're breaking the zoning rules by having so many people in that house, and it diminishing your potential rental value and the property value of the other houses?
Well, that as well as it's really inhibiting my enjoyment of my property, because when there's 20 people outside screaming at the top of their lungs every day, and some of them have threatened me, some of them have yelled obscenities at me, others have tried to tell me what I can do on my property. I don't feel safe to go outside and be able to smile and be courteous to all my neighbors without being harassed or bothered to some degree. And, you know, the fact that they sent the kids out that one day with the fire and whatnot, it's just like you're using your children to antagonize the neighbors. I mean, I've got a video. The grandma, Alice, was building the fire pit right next to my shed, teaching her 5-year-old at the time grandson that that's an acceptable way to behave, is you build fire pits next to sheds. I mean, this behavior, I don't even know how to understand it because I would never behave that way myself.
Okay, well, I think I got a sense for it. Anything else I should hear from you, Mr. Brown, before I go back to Ms. Mullins?
I think I have probably rambled enough for everybody today, so.
All right, very good. Well, let me give Ms. Mullins a chance. Ms. Mullins, I swore you in previously. Anything in response to Mr. Brown's testimony?
Oh man, boy, where do I start? That was a lot. But
How many kids, Ms. Mullins? Clarify.
I have 5 children. And I am a very present, hands-on mom. So I don't have time to stalk anybody, okay?
How old are these kids?
My youngest is 2 and my oldest is 11.
Okay,
And
pretty
I
young.
do go outside with them. They haven't really been going outside this year, so I don't understand why he keeps bringing up stuff that has already been resolved. Most of the stuff that he's talked about has been resolved already and has nothing to do with me at all. And
Yeah, no, I get it. I think the specific things are these light issues. He said it looked like you have 2 lights, maybe your cell phone light and a
I
flashlight.
don't know.
You're saying if you went
Never.
up
I
to do
don't
the
have a
DoorDash thing,
flashlight.
it was just a cell phone light.
Yes.
Okay. What about the
And-
flipping off?
No, I never did that. I would not intentionally. My kids are watching me, okay? So, and I like to present myself in a way to where like they have somebody to look up to.
Sure.
So that's out of character. And just there were just so many lies or maybe different perspectives, who knows. But I never came up to Seth and cussed at him at all. Like he claimed that was me because my hair is long or wait, no, maybe
Well,
that's
I think he said that was how he identified the person walking. I don't
But
think
yeah, I'm sorry.
the cussing out thing
I
was
can't
about.
keep
I
up.
don't know that he was specific. I can't remember if that was
Yeah.
attributed to you or not. But in any case, that was I generally, it's a two-way conversation between 2 people. Well, people disagree and that happens. And as long as both people
Right.
walk away, that's not gonna, unless someone goes over the
Seth
top.
hasn't been threatened, not in my presence anyways, but to my knowledge, that has been handled and has not happened again. Like
What
all
about
of this stuff.
what I'm going to describe as harassment, and there I think the main issues, the potential flashlight beams. It sounds like from his perspective, well,
Yes.
these are pretty bright lights and they are being shined into both, the back and then, my perception is, well, if you get a bunch of flashlights in your back and it happens for a while and then maybe there's a break or the fence goes up and then all of a sudden there's one in front. And the kids say, "Oh, look at there's flashlight coming through the front window." It's happening again, Dad. What's going on there?
I have no clue what he's talking about because
It's not you shining flashlights in the
No,
window. You
I would
might have gone
never
out
do
onto the golf course to do the coyote patrol.
No, that hasn't happened like recently. I don't know what he's talking about.
This spray takes 15 minutes and it protects your car for 8 months. Sounds like a scam, right? But why?
So
Yeah, well, the PPO doesn't have to be directly, something that happened yesterday.
No.
It's not uncommon. Although,
we've had so many problems with Seth that we know that any little thing Seth is going to find and call the cops on intentionally, like because he's trying to get my mom to move. Realistically, that's
sure.
what
Well, he said there are too many people living there, in his estimation. So
because of whatever altercations. So he's doing anything and everything to do that. But everything that he stated has nothing to do with me. So I don't understand why it's out on me. If you have a problem with my family, then go take it up with them. But like my kids and I are traumatized from the situation that happened. When he called the cops and they were gonna take me to jail and under.
You mean this most recent time when you drove
Yes,
past? Okay.
yes. And
Because you're right, he was thinking maybe, or you were thinking perhaps because of the PPO, you were going to be busted, as it were, for violating the
that's what the
PPO
cops had said, that I was violating it, and that I could go to jail, and then he said that I was, but he had to talk to somebody first. So, and I forgot what I was gonna say.
Take your time.
But
Yeah, well, I'm trying to get to the bottom now. Did you observe your mom, sister, anyone else do the flashlight behavior in the windows when you were home?
no, they do not. If any flashlights have ever been shined in his window, it's unintentional. But and nobody has ever shined it at his house to do it. Like, we're not thinking about that. Nobody is. We're just trying to live our lives. And Seth just keeps continuing to cause problems.
Okay. Well, and the problems he identified are disputes about the fence, about where the fire pit can go.
Right. Yeah, that was all stuff that had already been taken care of.
Has
Didn't
been
have
kind of
anything
worked.
Yeah.
Okay.
It never
Yeah.
had anything to do with me.
Yeah, right. And it's not your house, so those things, and you're not necessarily
Right.
putting up a fire pit
And
or
I do
or
go on
fences.
walks with my children when I'm there, and I play outside with them. But not intentionally to antagonize Seth. Who does that, really? They're
Yeah,
kids.
you haven't sent them outside to make a
No.
bunch of noise because Seth and his
No,
family are outside.
no, because that's definitely not something that would cross my mind ever.
Okay, well, here's I have heard the testimony today from both sides. On a protective order, what has to happen is I have to find, in order to keep the protective order in place, that 2 or more incidents occurred that could be threatening or harassing conduct. Now, shining a light in a window certainly without more is not threatening conduct. However, it certainly could be harassing conduct in that, for example, you can't put a spotlight up and shine it in your neighbor's bedroom and, leave that on every night. And if they come to you, you say, well, it's on my property. Why is it bothering you? Well, of course it is. It's a form of a trespass when, you're shining light into an area that a person normally would have a degree of privacy in. I don't think that's what's happening here either. It's a little hard for me to tell what is happening exactly with these flashlights. However, there is enough what I'm going to describe as bad blood or contention between these two families. There's certainly it's credible to me that there would have been incidences with the family that you're a part of, Miss Mullins, where they were out, allegedly looking for coyotes. However, I tend to agree that, I can see shining flashlights around, maybe the area your dog's going to run out in to make sure there's not a coyote lurking there. But when you're going out a distance and going out onto a golf course to shine now for coyotes, well, you may want to do that. And if you shine the lights straight into the golf course and everything else, not a problem. But if you're coming back, even if those shine into a neighbor's house, particularly if it's a neighbor, where there's been a history of conflict, certainly that could be construed as harassing behavior. So I'm going to find that since I had 2 people testify that was what was happening and it happened repeatedly, that there were 2 or more incidents of harassment, I'm going to leave the PPO in place. I'd have already modified it. At least I'm looking at Miss Malecki's. I said that I crossed out I think it was on Mr. Running on both of these because of the proximity of the houses. I crossed out appearing within sight because you have to drive past. You've already testified to go to and from your mom's house where she provides childcare. However, Ms. Mullins, I would advise, like the police do, if you're going to continue that child care arrangement, stick strictly to what you're doing there and that child care business. And certainly, I'm never going to find you in violation of a PPO. If you're outdoors on your mom's property with your kids doing nothing that's targeted or can even be construed at being targeted at the Malecki Brown household. However, I often tell people when you've got one of these against you and you're the respondent, and you've already pointed this out, Ms. Mullins, and the police are quick to point this out too. If the police do decide you're engaging in conduct that violates the protective order, then they do take you in and they put you in jail, and I can put you into jail for up to 93 days. And so what I tell people is it's not even worth going up to the line in a case like this and putting yourself at risk for that penalty, especially when you got a family and kids and other things in your life to worry about. Just live your own life. Most people can without creating conflict. PPOs are not, I grant these typically for 6 months. So I would expect I signed these for a 6-month period. And, my goal in doing that is to allow the situation to cool down and return to,
I thought I had already done that.
a peaceful living situation. No, and it sounds like it has. And if it sustains now for another, I'm looking here for the date that this thing expires. If it continues, well, I can tell you what happens at that date of, so this is in place until January 17th of 2026.
I made this kit for women that want to try makeup but don't know where to start. To celebrate the 5 years, we have 5.
After that, then if Mr. Malek or Miss Malecki, Mr. Brown think the basis there have been more violations, they can ask to continue it. Otherwise, it just expires as of its own terms on that date, and it's not in place any longer. Now, does that mean on the 18th you should go over there and say, your thing ran out? Of course you shouldn't, because then what they'll do is they'll come back to me and they'll say, you had the prior one.
Intentions.
Yeah, no, and the prior one can count as one of the violations, and I can consider that in granting a future one. So don't do that. I think things can return, at least with regard to you, Ms. Mullins. And I often tell people, should you trick or treat at their house? Definitely not. Let's use common sense here and not do anything that could be construed as an intentional violation of the order. Everyone stays out of jail. It does sound like, from what I've heard on both sides here, that Mr. Brown is upset about some things that are going at your house. But to his credit, Mr. Brown seems to be going through official channels. If he makes a report, for example, to the zoning administrator, well, you don't like that, and no one likes that, and people have to move their fire pits and driveways and air conditioning units and stuff like that all the time when that happens. But it's still going through official channels. It's not the same as coming over with a sledgehammer and cracking up your fire pit or whatever. And that's what the laws intended to encourage, is everyone to act within the parameters of the law. We can't say be friends with each other, be great neighbors, enjoy barbecues together. That's probably never going to happen, but we can say, don't take things into your own hands. Do what you can to maintain the peace in the neighborhood. And I don't know, if you all read the news, there was a horrible case in Ottawa County where a guy and his, these two people were both in their late 60s. And they'd had a fight forever about who pushed snow into the other person's driveway when they were shoveling. And one day the guy got fed up with it. He got his pistol and he shot his neighbor, slid her down the back of the hill in a sled, and got arrested, went down for first-degree murder, premeditated murder, mandatory life in prison without parole. Was so ticked off, he never apologized or anything else. And of course, the other lady's dead. And, when you think about your extended family and the other people that are involved in your life, however bad things get with your neighbors, nothing is worth escalating to an extreme level. Nothing's even worth spending, in my opinion, a day in jail for. Most people can keep the peace. Respect each other's property lines and rights, and not push the limits. That's what I'm asking to do here. And if that works through January, then it may be that Mr. Brown and Ms. Malecki don't feel the need to renew it, at least with regard to you. And of course, like I say, I'm not holding you responsible, Ms. Mullins, for anything that you're. I might hold you responsible for your kids if you tell them to do something, but I'm not going to have any imagination that you control your mom or your brother or anyone else in this situation. They got to make their own decisions, but I'm confident you can make the right ones. You've conducted yourself very politely and clearly during the hearing here. I think you can make the right decisions and not get pulled into a fight that, as you've pointed out many times, is probably not your fight in the first place, other than it involves your family. So I think we can keep the peace here, and I'll leave the protective orders in place for the meantime.
Okay. I have a question.
Yep, go ahead.
So does this mean my children, we like to take walks. So am I not allowed to walk that way? It's a dead end that way. So and there's not a lot of like other places to walk. We go to the other side, but that's like the other side is the stop sign. So then
if you're on the far side of the road from where they
on the opposite side.
Yeah. And obviously, if you're on the far side of the road and your kids are hooting and hollering and holding up signs that say "Screw you, Seth," that's one thing. But I don't expect that's what's.
I would not allow that behavior.
Right now, and kids are sometimes noisy, but if it's again. Every time I say something like this, it begs me in the rear because something unexpected happens. But, during normal waking hours and you're going to be outside with the kids while the weather's good, I have never faulted a parent for that. Now, all those other scenarios that can possibly arise, you train your 11-year-old to shoot a bow and arrow and they shoot it into the other people's yard or whatever, then I have a problem with it. But you don't seem like the kind of person that's going to do that. So.
No. Okay. All right. Thank you. I just want to make sure that was clarified.
Very good. Thank you all for your participation, your honesty during the hearing. Like I say, I wish the neighborly situation was better, but I don't think, like I say, you're going to be friends with each other. But I do commend the fact that everyone shows up for a hearing like this and testifies and behaves politely in a court hearing, gives me really good hope that however it works out, it can be worked out within the bounds of the law. And that's my job, is to make sure people follow the law and don't take things into their own hands. So wishing you all a safe Labor Day weekend.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have it.
All right, everyone, we're going to begin our Fulton County State Court Expedited Accusations calendar. And this is a calendar for cases in which individuals have recently been arrested and charged with certain misdemeanor offenses. Soon after their arrest, the Fulton County Solicitor General's office has already accused these cases of the offenses brought against them, and the cases have been bound over to the Fulton County State Court. Nevertheless, this will usually be the defendant's initial appearance before a state court judge, so we are able to address certain matters, including bond, possible arraignment, and a possible plea offer if one has been made by the state at this juncture. I'm going to begin and advise everyone that this whole entire proceeding is being recorded as well as live streamed on YouTube, so govern yourselves accordingly. I want to remind the defendants on this calendar that you do have certain constitutional rights. The first being that you have a right to counsel. You should know who your attorneys are by now and have spoken to them. You also have a right to remain silent. Remember that anything that you state about the facts, the circumstances, and the occurrences of your case can and will be held against you. The state is here and they're listening, so follow the lead of your attorney. Right. And who do we have first?
Position 7.
Okay.
Ever find yourself working on a school paper, struggling to rephrase a complex sentence without losing its meaning?
This is 25 CR 005168A. Ashley's at FICE.
Yes.
Charged with 1 count of battery family violence. Retrial.
Yes, Your Honor. There are 2 prior arrest cycles. The last arrest was in 2020 for aggravated stalking, and the defendant was convicted of that and is currently serving 4 years on probation as a first offender. There is a 2017 arrest for harassing phone calls, which appeared to be no process out of Cobb County. Nothing further.
All right, thank you.
And Judge, just on the prior from 2020, my understanding is that was actually discharged under first offender already.
Already first offender, okay. All right, state.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. ASG Audrey Simmons here for the state.
All right.
And this offense happened on the 31st of August, 2025. And the facts are that the officers responded to the incident location at 153 Autumn Ridge Trail in Roswell, here in Fulton County, and they spoke with the complaining witness, Mr. Antonio Rolland. Mr. Rolland told the officers that the defendant, who is his living girlfriend, bit and scratched him, leaving a visible bite mark and scratches on his arm after they had got into a verbal altercation. And Your Honor, the state's recommendation is a $2,500 short bond, cash or surety, no further violent contact with Antonio Rolland, no weapons, drugs, or alcohol.
All right. No stay away or anything?
No, Your Honor. The incident location is actually the defendant's residence.
Okay, that's correct. Good. All right. PD Jinx.
Yes, thank you, Judge. Judge, Ms. Weiss is 36 years old. She has lived in Atlanta her entire life. She has connections here through her mom who lives here and two brothers. She has graduated from college. She has a bachelor's from Florida A&M University in criminal justice and currently works as a mail services associate at CBRE, and that's mail, M-A-I-L. And so she also has a 16-year-old daughter that she supports. As the ASG Simmons said, that is her residence, and so much so that actually the complaining witness, Mr. Roland, was moved out as of a few weeks ago. So it's questionable as to whether or not he should have been there. His residence is in Athens, and the location of the incident is actually Ms. Weiss's apartment. She stated to me that he had restrained her. There had been issues with him being an initial aggressor in the past with her, and that this allegation that she had been drinking and he was trying to stop her from leaving is baseless, basically. We are asked, and again, Judge, I wanted to remind you that she had stated that actually the charge that she was on probation for had been discharged under first offender. So my understanding is that's actually a non-issue at this point. We are asking, Your Honor, to allow her to have a signature bond or UJR through pretrial and at level 1, which I believe was the recommendation from pretrial. And she's supposed to be at work tomorrow. Sorry, that was one last thing she wanted me to mention.
Okay. All right. Since we, I guess, technically have one cycle or 0 cycles in general as far as the dispositions go. I'm going to give her a $2,500 signature bond through pretrial. And that'll be at the level 1. No further contact with Antonio Rollins. No drugs, alcohol, weapons, or guns while on bond. And I will ask her to take a 2-day anger awareness or anger management class free through pretrial. And I think that is it. Anything else? Miss anything?
No.
All right. Thank you. Mm-hmm.
How you doing, Your Honor?
Hi, how are you?
I'm fine. How you doing?
This is 25 CR 005169Y. Don Saunders or Sanders, charged with 1 count of simple battery. Pretrial.
There's power in the word no. At University of Phoenix, there's no application fee. And
Yes, Your Honor, there are 27 prior arrest cycles with multi-state interaction in Georgia and in Florida. The last arrest appeared to be from January of this year for bus rail hijacking, simple battery, acts prohibited at a bus station. That case is currently pre-indicted. The case number is 25 PI 000781. The defendant pled no low to criminal trespass in 2024. There is a 2023 felony conviction for criminal damage to property in the second, possession of a firearm, and theft by receiving stolen mail. Also, there was another 2023 felony conviction for aggravated assault, possession of a firearm by, and the defendant is currently serving 8 years on probation for that case. And there is also a separate third 2023 felony conviction for aggravated assault, possession of a firearm, and the defendant is also currently serving 8 years on probation for that case. In 2021, the defendant pled no to theft by shoplifting. There was a 2019 misdemeanor conviction for battery, a 2011 conviction for battery in Florida, a 2013 felony conviction for battery also out of Florida. One
That's probably
FTA.
good enough to go back to 2019.
I'm sorry?
What was the last one that you said, 2013?
It was a 2013 felony conviction for battery in Florida. And the most recent one was from 2019.
Welcome. What can I get you today?
There is an FTA from 2023. There is an open case, a separate open case from September of last year.
Who's interrupted?
A large fry.
Zoom
The
user.
Zoom
Hold on,
user
hold
one.
on, hold on, hold on.
With a side.
Who's not muted?
They're muted now, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you. All right, I'm sorry, pretrial.
It's okay. There is an open case from September of last year for entering auto and 5 counts of criminal damage to property in the second and possession of tools. That case number is 25 SC 000235, and the defendant meets the criteria for level 3. Nothing further.
All right, state.
Yes, Your Honor. This is ASG Brown for the state. Your Honor, this occurred at the Fulton County Jail on February the 15th, 2025. Officer Kenner was working in the inmate housing unit 3 South on the date aforementioned, when he noticed that inmate Eugene Tony appeared injured. And then he was transported to medical, and during a review of the surveillance footage, it was determined that inmate Saunders had picked up a wet floor sign in the middle of the hallway, shoved another inmate by the name of Davis to the side, and threw the wet floor sign at inmate Tony, striking him in his upper thigh area. Your Honor, given the history that you have heard, he is likely to reoffend. Given the types of charges for which he is currently still stands accused and has been convicted, he is a danger to the community. It is also apparent, Your Honor, from the FTA in 2023, he is a flight risk. We're going to be asking for a $2,500 good bond on this particular charge, given those factors against him.
All right, Attorney McLeod.
Yes, Your Honor. Good afternoon. I believe pretrial stated that my client was eligible for a signature bond at level 3, and that is what I would be asking for him. Your Honor, he just recently came out from incarceration. This incident was a jail dust-up, something rather minor in the grand scheme of things, based on the warrant. It happened in February of this year. So it's not anything imminent, and I read the warrant more than once, and I am not sure I was even able to determine who exactly the victim was. It appears that they are alleging that the victim is a correctional officer. At the same time, they're saying he threw some wet sign towards another inmate. The truth is, it does not sound like it was something major, and they've taken this length of time to deal with it, to bring it before the court, Your Honor. This man has served, he tells me he's been locked up for quite some time, for more than 6 months. So I'm asking the court to take that into consideration, because he does not currently have the means to pay for a bond, given the fact that he was locked up and not working. And the allegations, such as they are, Your Honor, do not indicate that he's any kind of danger to society. Sometimes when people are locked up, situations like that happen. It doesn't sound like anyone was injured or anything like that. So based on that, I'm asking the court to consider giving my client a signature bond at level 3 as pretrial recommended. Nothing further, Your Honor.
So if he were to get a signature bond at level 3, do we have enough contact information? He's not working. Does he have a cell phone? I mean, how would he report him?
I have a number for him, Your Honor. He gave me contact information. That was the first thing I asked him for. And I do have a number which I am happy to share with the state for him.
Your membership is more than just a card. It's your gateway to.
I'm going to order the $2,500 surety bond. His cycles, it's just too much. I don't know what's going on with him. Hopefully he can get some assistance. But I'm going to order the $2,500 surety bond. I'm going to order no drugs, alcohol, weapons, or guns while on bond. And
Mr. Thornton, please don't speak.
I just came home from prison.
Mr. Saunders, do not say anything. It's not going to help you. I've already told the judge that.
all right, my ruling is the $2,500 surety bond. Thank you.
Thank you.
Stop it.
Position 10.
Your Honor, are we having any contact information? And
Oh, I'm sorry. No further violent contact with any of the jail personnel or other inmates for that matter.
thank you.
Thank you. And she said 10, I believe. Which number, Deputy? 10?
That was number 10.
Said James Christopher.
Okay. This is 25 CR 005171C. Christopher James, charged with 1 count of simple battery, pretrial.
Yes, Your Honor. There is one prior arrest from 2023 for an armed robbery, possession of a firearm, and possession of a pistol by a person under 18 and aggravated assault. That case is currently open and the defendant is on pretrial for that case. We will be surrendering the bond. The case number is 25SC000721 and the defendant meets the criteria for level 2. Nothing further.
Right, State?
Yes, good afternoon again, Judge. This incident, ASG Simmons here. This incident happened on August 30, 2025 at 4938 Wexford Trail, and that is in South Fulton. Officers were called to the incident location, and when they arrived, they spoke with a Miss Leah Witcher. She told them that the defendant had been involved in an altercation with her and other members of her family because she told him and her daughter, who is the defendant's girlfriend, that he could not move into the residence. During the dispute, Miss Witcher reported that she saw him on top of the victim and he had the victim in a chokehold. The victim is Miss Witcher's son and he's 15 years old. Your Honor, the state is asking for a $3,500 cash or surety bond, no contact with the victim, and stay away from the incident location, and no weapons.
All right.
Hello, this is one.
Asking.
Okay.
Yes, it is, Your Honor. I am asking the court to consider signature bond for my client. Yes, he does have a prior arrest, but he has not been convicted of anything. He's out on bond. And based on what he tells me, there's a good possibility that this case is either, the other case I'm speaking about, will either get dismissed or will be charged with something completely different, something a lot less. He is out on bond, so obviously nobody thinks he's any kind of danger to the community. The other thing is, he tells me that this is an incident with his girlfriend. They actually have a young child together, and the reason he said he was just holding back her brother who was trying to attack her. The warrant itself states that none of the people were injured. There was no physical injury on the alleged victim. He said the youngster, the 15-year-old, was trying to attack his girlfriend. And like any normal man, he just tried to protect her. So he held him back, didn't strike him or anything. He was just holding on to him to prevent him from attacking his girlfriend. I am asking the court to consider a signature bond for my client. And I would also request that pretrial does not surrender his other bond. There is a whole lot going on here. He was not the only one arrested, Your Honor. And I was able to talk to my client for some time, and I see the situation. He actually does not live there. Let me make that clear. He lives at home with his mom, and he's given me that address. You know, and he explained to me what was going on. But all he was doing, Your Honor, in fact, I plan to file an immunity motion for him, was trying to protect his girlfriend, as any normal man would do if they see another male trying to strike her. And that's all he did. So I'm asking for signature bond for him, Your Honor.
And this 15-year-old was the sibling to the girlfriend?
To his girlfriend. That is correct, Your Honor.
At this point, to try to sort out the facts, I'm trying to make sure that this defendant is going to come back to court and the other Ayala factors. Having a pistol under 18, how old is he now?
19, Your Honor.
19, so that was just
That is correct, Your Honor.
And obviously armed robbery is a very serious offense.
I understand, Your Honor, but that is just in 2023. He's not been in any kind of trouble. He tells me that he's gainfully employed because he has to take care of his 1-year-old son. And that was just an arrest for which he's out on bond.
Well, I'm sure pretrial is going to surrender. I don't know how I can convince them not to surrender. And I'm not inclined to want to put him back on a pretrial bond.
Well, Your Honor, if the court is not inclined to give him a signature bond, I would ask for that cash bond of maybe $25 or $50 so he can get out, because it just seems unfair to have this man locked up when all he was doing was just holding on to someone to try to stop them from hurting the mother of his child. And I want to point out again, Your Honor, that the warrant clearly states that there were no visible injuries on the alleged victim.
You have anything else to add, State?
No, Your Honor. We have been speaking with one of the witnesses, Miss Witcher, who is the victim's mother. His name is Adam Abdul Kabir, and she indicated that they don't want to have any contact with him, and because they're afraid of what he might do. That is the information that we have regarding Miss Witcher and her family.
Afraid of what someone might do is not the same as alleging that the person has made any threats or has done anything in the past or anything at all. My client just happened to be there. This was going on with his girlfriend, and he tried to protect her. That's normal behavior. He doesn't live there, by the way.
Since pretrial will surrender, I'm going to order a cash bond in the amount of $200. With that cash bond, he is to stay away from the incident location at Wexford Trail. He's to have no further contact with the 15-year-old who's the actual victim. And I don't know about Miss Witcher, if she's considered a victim or not.
Not in this case, Your Honor. There is as Ms. McLeod has mentioned, the girlfriend was also arrested for offenses relating to other members of the family, which were charged as felony offenses.
Okay. There's kind of a big family fight out there.
Yes, Your Honor.
Well, my client was just trying to protect his girlfriend.
So I'm going to give him a $200 cash bond and order him to stay away from any other co-defendants and the victim, 15-year-old victim, and stay away from that incident location or that home. And no drugs, alcohol, weapons, or guns while on bond. All right.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Position 2 is 25 CR 005180E. Ronald Anderson, charged with 1 count of battery family violence, 2nd count of simple battery family violence. Retrial.
Yes, Your Honor. There are 27 prior arrests. The last arrest was June 6th of this year for criminal trespass. That case is open. The case number is 25 CR 003917E. There was a 2018 misdemeanor conviction for willful obstruction, 2016 misdemeanor for willful obstruction and disorderly conduct, 2015 misdemeanor conviction for willful obstruction. There was an arrest in 2015 for aggravated assault, cruelty third, simple battery, family violence, hindering an emergency phone call out of Clayton County. That case was no pros. There was a misdemeanor conviction for possession of marijuana less than an ounce in 2014 and 2013. Also in 2012, there was first offender probation for 3 counts of theft by receiving stolen property, 2 counts of willful obstruction, criminal damage to property in the second, possession of tools, criminal trespass, and forgery in the first. That was sealed in 2020. There are 3 FTAs, one from 2018. I'm sorry, 2 FTAs, one from 2018 and 2013. 3 open cases, one from June of this year for purchase, possession of selling marijuana, and tampering. That case is pre-indicted. Also, there is one from April of this year for a terroristic threat. That case is also pre-indicted, and it listed Essence Thomas as a victim. There was also one from March of last year for theft by receiving stolen property. That's also pre-indicted. The defendant meets the criteria for level 3. Nothing further.
All right, State.
Uh-oh. Looks like someone's clouded by doubt.
Yes, Your Honor. This happened August 30th of 2025 at 3256 Washington Road in East Point. Officers first spoke with the defendant, who had several stab wounds to his left knee, left ankle, and left index finger. He indicated that the victim in this case, Joseph Lloyd, had stabbed him. Lloyd was questioned. He stated that the defendant became upset over giving up the pillow cushions and tried to take his TV. Mr. Lloyd then attempted to remove his Netflix account from the TV before Mr. Anderson took it, which led to a tug of war until Mr. Anderson the defendant gained possession of the TV. Mr. Lloyd then claimed the defendant pushed him into the front door. He tried to calm him down, but the defendant continued to fight him. At that point, Mr. Lloyd went outside to avoid any kind of further conflict. The defendant then followed him outside with a knife. Mr. Lloyd stated that he and his friends disarmed the defendant. A witness who didn't want to be identified did corroborate Mr. Lloyd's version, stating he personally took the knife from the defendant and stated the defendant may have injured himself during the struggle or possibly on broken glass outside. The officers did observe a significant amount of broken glass in the parking lot. Mr. Lloyd had scratch marks to his neck and upper back as a result of this altercation. I will state that they are cousins, just to let the court know. Okay, well, that was indicated in the warrant. We did have a conversation with Mr. Lloyd. He stated the defendant is his cousin, and the defendant stabbed himself. He stated that they live together. It's kind of the hangout house. And he did corroborate the statement in the warrant, which is that the defendant became mad because Mr. Lloyd was about to have some girls over. They asked to bring the couch cushions downstairs to accommodate the extra people. The defendant then got upset, tried to snatch the TV, and that's how the altercation began. He did also state that the defendant did grab a knife and come at him, and that they began tussling over a knife, and two other cousins eventually helped pull the knife away. He stated that this went on until about 3 minutes before the police pulled up, and he indicated that the defendant has a violent nature and he's used to him tripping out over little things, but this is the first time that they've experienced something where it became physical. He believes this is an MHET issue. He also stated that the defendant called from the jail and said, "Tell that bitch when I get out, I'm going to kill him." He doesn't want him around because of that statement. He is concerned for his safety. And he said he just doesn't need, any more issues. I will say that the defendant already had a stay away order from the location that he was at in that marijuana tampering with evidence case. From June of 2025, a bond was issued and he was given a stay away from 3265 Washington Road, apartment 7, no alcohol, drugs, or weapons. He currently has 3 bonds that he's out on. There is that bond for the marijuana and tampering with evidence. There's a $10,000 surety bond from June 9th for the terroristic threats and acts. And then there's a $1,000 surety bond on our criminal trespass case from June 11th. So the defendant is racking up charges pretty quickly. I would say under the Ayala factors, he's definitely a risk of reoffense. He has already violated the conditions of his existing bond by going back to the location he was ordered to stay away from in his felony case, 3265 Washington Road. For that reason, the state is asking for a $7,500 cash bond, $5,000 on the family violence battery, $2,500 on the simple battery. We're also asking for that cash bond, not only because he has 3 open cases with 3 outstanding bonds, but because he has also threatened harm in a jail call to the victim, threatening to kill him if he's released. We're also asking for no further contact with Joseph Lloyd, stay away from 3265 Washington Road in East Point. We are opposed to a one-time escort. He had that opportunity when he was told to stay away the first time, and he just went back to the house. We're finally asking for a social worker visit for possible MHET issues. We would like to sound for Joseph Lloyd at this time, and that's all for the state.
All right, Joseph Lloyd. Joseph Lloyd on. All right. Go ahead, PD Jinx.
Thank you, Judge. Mr. Anderson is 32 years old, Your Honor. He is here in Atlanta. He has an 11th grade education. He said that he is trying to work on his GED. He's painting houses with a family member on and off in terms of supporting himself.
You know what's in your cheap protein powder? Well, here to tell us is all-natural fitness athlete Paul Sklar.
All right, let's see.
Adamantly denies the version that the state just spoke about in terms of what happened here. And it seems pretty far-fetched that he would give himself multiple stab wounds on the back of his legs, as well as his finger, where they had to actually take him to Grady to go ahead and give him some medical attention, Judge. He stated that he was trying to move his items out and that Joseph Lloyd, the complaining witness in this case, was preventing him from doing so. And that was the nature of this, and that it was actually he, Joseph Lloyd, who had a knife and started stabbing him. I don't see any evidence of any kind of jail calls, Judge. So I ask that you disregard that at this point. The state can always decide what they're going to do in the future related to that if that evidence does surface. As you heard, pretrial stated that he does qualify for a pretrial release bond on level 3, and that's what we're asking for.
Okay.
I'm sorry, Judge, one other thing. He did say that he was able to live with his mom if he was able to be released on a signature bond. Thank you.
Okay. His history concerns me. It's already out. As the state says, on 3 open cases. I'm going to order surety bonds here because of that concern and the history and the open cases. On the first case, Then I order 5,000 surety bond. On the second case, a 2,500 surety bond. So that'll be a total of 7,500 surety bond. No drugs, alcohol, weapons, or guns while on bond. And stay away from that 3255, is it 3265 Washington Road, or the incident location?
3256 Washington.
32, I said it backwards, 3256. All right. Stay away from that location. I agree. I'm going to deny the one-time escort and no further contact with the victim, Joseph Lloyd. And he's to stay 200 yards away from him. No contact by phone, by email, by text, because all of those will be considered violations of the bond. And I think that's it. No drugs, alcohol, weapons, or guns. I think I said that.
Would Your Honor be agreeable to the social worker visit?
Yes, social worker visit is fine.
I mean, he hasn't mentioned anything or gave me any kind of indication that there's a mental health issue here.
Are you opposed to the visit?
I mean, we can make a request, but I just want to state that I didn't have that impression for the court.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll order the social worker visit just to be on the safe side to see if there's any assistance he may need. All right. That's it. 25 CR 005175G. Gregory Enriquez, charge of 1 count of criminal trespass.
Yes, Your Honor, there are 48 prior arrest cycles. The last arrest was in 2020 for possession of drug-related objects. No disposition is listed. There was a 2018 conviction for possession of drug-related objects and possession of cocaine. 2017 NOLO plea to possession of a drug-related object. 2016 conviction for possession of a controlled substance and possession of a drug-related object. Also a 2011 felony conviction for forgery and giving a false name. There were 3 separate felony convictions in 2009 for forgery, a 2009 misdemeanor conviction for giving a false name. There were criminal trespass misdemeanor convictions from 2015, 2010, 2003, and 2000. There were also misdemeanor convictions for simple battery and felony convictions for possession of cocaine, and also other incidences outside of the 10-year period. There are 3 FTAs, one from 2018, 2017, and 2015, and the defendant meets the criteria for level 3. Nothing further.
All right. State.
Yes, Your Honor. This happened on August 29th, 2025 at 464 Windsor Street Southwest, which is the BP gas station. The security guard at that location stated the defendant had been previously trespassed from that location and returned and was refusing to leave. The officers made contact with the defendant. As he pulled up, the defendant tried to walk away. He exited. The security guard stated that the defendant was trying to leave. Who was trying to leave was the individual who had returned after being trespassed. The defendant was then placed under arrest, and we are requesting a $1,000 surety bond, stay away from 464 Windsor Street Southwest in Atlanta, which is the BP gas station. No alcohol, drugs, or weapons. And normally we would ask for a social worker visit for either housing, just to make sure he has adequate housing, since it is not showing any address for this defendant. That's all for the state.
All right. Judy James.
Yes, Judge. Mr. Enriquez is 47 years old. He has lived in Atlanta since 1994. He's completed up to the 11th grade. He does have family here, Judge, an older brother, and his father lives here. He does odd jobs to support himself. And he said there's no problem staying away from the BP gas station. We are asking you to go along with pretrial's recommendation for the UJR level 3.
I'm going to order the $1,000 surety bond. And with that surety bond, a stay away from the 464 Windsor Street, the BP. I'm going to order no drugs, alcohol, weapons, or unprescribed medication while on bond. And I don't know, I guess the social worker visit if we have a housing issue. Not for sure if he's sleeping at the BP, hanging around, or combination of that. Unless we have some indication. Otherwise, I guess that's why the state may be asking for the social worker visit for housing. And that's all I'll order at this time.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Mm-hmm. This is 25 CR 00-51818. Mario Bell charged with 1 count of battery and a 2nd count of simple battery. Pre-trial?
Yes, Your Honor. There are 49 prior arrests. The last arrest was in January of this year for public indecency, and the third out of Clayton County. The defendant appears to be currently serving 3 years on probation for that case. There were 5 prior misdemeanor convictions for criminal trespass from 2024, 2013, 2011, 2010, and 2006. There are also 4 prior misdemeanor convictions for theft by shoplifting in 2021, 2019, 2018, and 2017. In 2023, there was an arrest for battery, felony theft by shoplifting, and willful obstruction in Clayton County. No disposition was listed. There's a 2023 conviction for possession of meth and possession of drug-related objects. There's also a 2021 misdemeanor conviction for harassing communications involving a Ayana Young. Also, there's a 2018 theft by taking and robbery, 2017 and 2016 convictions for public indecency. Also, a 2016 misdemeanor conviction for theft by taking, as well as a theft by taking from 2010. There are other felony convictions outside of the senior period that appear to be theft related. There was a 2007 no-low plea to 2 counts of simple battery, family violence, and criminal trespass. I saw 3 FTAs, one from 2020, 2018, and 2017. Nothing further.
All right. State.
And Your Honor, there were 2 felony convictions that were within the 10 years that I did not hear mentioned by pretrial. One was an interference with government property out of Fulton County, 21 SC 177447. The other one was a terroristic threats felony and an interference with government property felony under 19 SC 170427. The defendant was given 2 years commuted to time served and 3 years probation, and he has completed on both. In this case, the defendant went to the defendant and the victim.
There's no hitting pause on a busy schedule. At University of Phoenix, you don't have
Mr. Manuel Sandoval were at Rome Lennox at 3535 Peachtree Road in Atlanta. This was on August 31st of 2025. Mr. Sandoval stated he did not know this defendant. They were actually entering the building at the same time, and the defendant punched him in the face, which resulted in a busted lip on Mr. Sandoval. We have not had an opportunity to speak with Mr. Sandoval regarding this incident. However, I will state the defendant has quite a lengthy history with 50 cycles, multiple felony and misdemeanor convictions within the last 10 years. For that reason, the state is asking for a $7,500 surety bond, $5,000 on the family violence battery, $2,500 on the simple battery, no further contact with Manuel Sandoval, stay away from 3535 Peachtree Road in Atlanta, which is Rome at Lennox. We're also asking for no alcohol, drugs, or weapons. And that's all for the state. We would like to sound for Mr. Sandoval if he is present at this time.
Mr. Sandoval. Manuel Sandoval. All right, go ahead, PD Jinx.
Thank you, Judge. Mr. Bell is 36 years old. He's completed up to the 8th grade, Judge. He also did obtain his GED from Jefferson High School online. He's not currently working. He does live with his mom, Tanya Bell. He stated that he's not currently on probation, so I don't know if the probation is.
Oh, no, I did say his probation, he's no longer on probation.
Okay, thank you for clarifying that. We're asking you for a $1,500 bond on the battery and a $1,000 bond on the simple battery, Judge.
State, I think on the battery or the simple battery, either of those family violence or not.
No. He did not know this gentleman. They were just walking into the building at the same time.
Okay. Because I thought you said battery family violence, but maybe you talked about his history as opposed to the current charge.
I did. It was a slip of the tongue. My apologies.
Okay. All right. I'm going to order the surety bond, $5,000 on the battery, $2,500 on the simple battery for a total $7,500 surety bond. Stay away from 3535 Peachtree Road, which is it Rome at Lenox, I believe?
Rome at Lenox. It's like a co-working space.
Oh, co-working space. Okay.
Yeah.
And no further contact with the victim, Manuel Sandoval. No unprescribed medication, drugs, alcohol, or weapons while on bond. That should be it.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Mm-hmm. This is 25 CR 005178Y, Jacqueline Smiley, charged with 1 count of DUI less safe, 2nd count of aggressive driving, 3rd count failure to obey stop sign, 4th count driving on the wrong side of the road, and 5th count driving following too closely. Pretrial?
Yes, Your Honor, there are 2 prior arrests. The last arrest was in 1971 in Texas for prohibited items. No disposition listed, no misdemeanors listed. The defendant meets the criteria for UJR jail.
All right.
Oh, I'm sorry, Judge Mincy.
No, go ahead.
This incident occurred on August the 30th, 2025 at or around or about the area of 406 Fayetteville Road, Fairborn, Georgia. Officers arrived at a single vehicle collision at East Broad and Fayetteville Road. It was a Kia Optima up by the train tracks, and the driver was the defendant. Before you today, as she began to answer questions about what happened and if she was okay, she became defensive and said that a female by the name of Summer Ray, who is present, I do see her on the Zoom, Your Honor, was driving her ex-boyfriend's car, and that she was driving behind her on Fayetteville Road. She advised that she being Miss Smiley, drove on the wrong side of the road to drive around Miss Summer Ray to get her to stop, failing to stop at the stop sign. She stated that Summer Ray was driving a black Infiniti car and had just pulled into the fire department nearby after her personal vehicle, meaning Miss Smiley, had wrecked and been disabled. Officers left the scene to go meet with Miss Ray, or Miss Summer Ray, who they thought that was in, and later I discovered that her identity was actually Summer Sales. Miss Sales indicated that she met the defendant about 4 months ago playing poker and said that her boyfriend is friends with Miss Smiley. She also indicated that the defendant drove to her house, pulled into her driveway without permission.
Embrace the journey, where each moment
without any announcement, never have been to her house, and that when she noticed that the defendant was in her driveway, in order to avoid contact with this individual, she decided to get into her vehicle and drive away and to avoid contact. While she was driving away, the defendant, in fact, did drive on the opposite side of the road where oncoming traffic was coming, Sales believes that her boyfriend gave the defendant her address. She had no reason to be at her home or to ever come there. She does believe that Miss Smiley and her boyfriend have had some type of prior relationship. Officers returned to Miss Smiley, where they later detected and determined that there was a strong presence of the odor of alcoholic beverage emanating from her breath and person, along with bloodshot, watery eyes. She did admit to having consumed some alcohol and was taken into custody. Her vehicle suffered from disabling damage from the wreck that was done to her car. The damage from her car that was done from the wreck. Judge, this is a very curious situation. I do not know if Ms. Sales, if you wish to speak with the court, you could just raise your hand. If you don't want to speak to the court, you don't have to unmute, but you can just raise your hand if you want to speak, and I'll make sure that she hears from you. Judge, this is a very curious case. I'm not sure. It's very reckless, very dangerous to the public. Driving on the opposite side of the road, driving in an aggressive manner, driving in a way that could put all kinds of lives, including her own, at risk. Based upon the allegations, the state is going to say she's a danger to the community, likely to intimidate this victim who is present on the Zoom. She is, with those things in consideration, the state is arguing that for count one, DUI, $3,000 surety bond, count two, $2,000 surety bond, count 3, 4, and 5, all $1,000 surety bonds. And I see Ms. Sales, and that would be our recommendation in light of those allegations, in light of the argument that she is a danger to the community, likely to intimidate this witness. That being the case, I now will pass the witness, Your Honor, on to you. If you would like me to swear her in, I can do that, or I can just defer all the way to the court.
Okay. I will swear her in and ask her a few questions. Ms. Sales, you wish to address the court today? Is it yes?
Yes.
Okay. Raise your right hand for me. Do you affirm that the testimony that you're about to give is the truth and nothing but the truth under the penalty of perjury?
Yes.
All right. Put your hand down for me. Are you in fear of Miss Smiley?
Yes.
Do you want to have any further contact with her?
No.
Okay. And so I'm not going to get into the facts per se today. It's just wanting to know about the contact. You all do not reside together, or anything like that, correct?
No.
Okay. All right. I don't have any other questions unless the state has any cross-examination or the PD.
No, Your Honor. I don't have any questions, but I also would like to add for your consideration that the victim did include that she received a text from the defendant some time ago stating that it's not over after this was over, after this occurred.
I'm sorry. Can I correct you?
Don't interrupt. Hold on.
I'm sorry.
Don't interrupt. Let him speak, and then I will allow you to speak.
That was one of the things that was communicated with the victim witness advocate, I believe, today or sometime prior to this hearing, I should say, just to be safe. And I just would like to add that as a consideration to the intimidation factor for Ayala purposes.
All right. Thank you. Ms. Sales, what were you going to say?
I was just going to say the message was sent immediately after she tried to run me off the road and she wrecked into the train tracks. She texted me that and said, it's not over, meaning she didn't get a chance to kill me Saturday, but she's going to continue to try.
Okay. All right. I do understand. Thank you for that. You can mute yourself and let me hear from her attorney, and then I'll make my ruling. Okay. All right. Go ahead, PD.
Kind of a minor point, Your Honor. A lot of our DUI cases do say strong or odor of alcohol. This one, I believe, unless I couldn't get to the bottom few lines and there was a new statement, it said the police officer, when approached her, said, I began to smell the odor of alcohol. We didn't use the word strong. This is a minor point, Your Honor. But these are serious allegations. She's going to take them very seriously and get counsel. She's got family. She's in her 70s, retired military, does volunteer work in the community.
When I tell people that I homeschool, the responses I get most often are, I could never.
Her 3 assignments while she was in the full-time military for her adult career was legal clerk, personnel assistant, administrative assistant. She has an associate's degree in business She's done additional diploma work after that, Your Honor. I got a hold of her daughter. She's as local as she can be, McDonough, Georgia. She will obey the court order and stay away. She's not near these folks, and there should be no problem in her obeying all court orders and showing up on time to court. Under these circumstances, with the 1971 Texas matter, we would ask the court to grant her a signature bond.
All right. Ms. Sales, do you know whether or not you live near the defendant, Ms. Smiley?
I'm 12 minutes down the street from Whiskey Barbecue. That is a place that she goes to every single Wednesday and Saturday. And I was told by several other people that she left there with the intentions, intoxicated, to come to my house.
So she knows where you live?
Yes. And I did not know she knew where I lived. I thought I was safe in my own home, but I realized I'm not. I stopped going to play poker 4 months ago because of her. The last time I went to go play poker, she chased me around the bar with her hand inside of her purse. She's ex-military. She's trying to kill people, and I'm in fear for my life. Her own daughter called me and Mac both yesterday and warned us and said that I'm in fear for your lives because my mother has lost her mind. Her own daughter said that to Mac. Is Dr. Mac Warren. I could give you his phone number and he will attest to that as well, the conversation that he had with her daughter.
And who is Mr. Mac, the owner of the...
Dr. Mac Warren is my boyfriend. It's a guy that she dated. She said she dated for 30 years. He said he just tried to be friendly with her over the last 20 years. They dated. She got pregnant on him with her son, and he stopped being in a relationship with her after that. Ever since then, he's just been trying to be nice to her and be cordial to her. And I tried to do the same thing. That's why I have not called the police on her before this. That's why there's no other documentation over the last 2 years of her just taunting me and calling me bitch and calling me whores and just saying stuff and purposely bumping into me at poker and stuff. I just stopped going. It was enough.
All right, thank you for that. State is your, and I don't usually go this far, your victim witness advocate talk to her about a protective order.
I'm going down there as soon as I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. I understand that you're infused with passion today, Ms. Sales. We have had that conversation with her, and Judge, I typically don't like to double and triple dip, but I do believe as a part of my recommendation, if I didn't, I just want to be thorough and make sure I cover the ground. And we would be asking, obviously, for no further contact, at least 200 yards away, perhaps a mental health evaluation and follow recommended treatment based upon the things that have been represented to the court today. Absolutely no alcohol or drugs without a prescription, no weapons, no firearms of any sort, and that the anger management. And I would also include in the no further contact with any of Ms. Summers Sales' known relatives, family, or friends because of the degrees of connection that they all share in this particular arrangement, to include Warren Mack, as was indicated by Ms. Sales. And as a last matter, Judge, I would ask that, I believe I covered that ground, but I just wanted to make sure that I did, Your Honor. I apologize for coming back. I typically don't.
Are you asking for no further contact with Mr. Mack either?
Yes, because of the degrees of connection of and how this played out. I know he's not actually a victim, but he is related within this circumstance, as was communicated through the facts.
Okay.
No known relatives, family, or friends for her as well.
All right. And she's recommended for a UJR. Sometimes in order to make sure that there's been the ample cooling down period, I don't do it. This just was on the 30th or the early morning of the 31st. I do wonder if there's been the ample cooling down period here. And so I would, tend to
Need a UGC video for your business? Find me and many other skilled creators on Fiverr.
Get away from the UJR, although she does not have, the violent history in the past. So we have to look and weigh those factors. I have to also balance whether she's, likely to continue this conduct or commit other offenses while she's out. I would hope at 70 years old she wouldn't, but I'm not so sure. And I agree with the state. When you get these passionate type situations and cases, they sometimes can go left real quick. So I also want to make sure that the victim is safe and that you're going to be safe as best that we can do.
Your Honor, if I might, we do appreciate how serious the allegations are. I think contact with the male would be pretty much up to him. He's not really a part of the case, but Your Honor, she's a county away. So whatever boundaries, whatever geography the court orders, she's going to be away from them.
You're stating that the victim lives a county away. I think she mentioned they frequent some of the same locations.
Well, she doesn't have to frequent any place Your Honor tells her not to frequent. She lives in McDonough. That's Henry County.
The defendant or the victim?
The defendant lives in McDonough.
Henry County. And the victim lives in the same county, I thought. No? She's shaking her head. She does not live in Henry County, but obviously she's close enough to frequent some locations
Correct.
in Henry County.
Correct.
Where
No, the locations are all in Fulton County.
but the to play poker or the bar or place where you go, is that in Henry or that was in Fulton as well?
The poker places are in Fulton County.
Fulton. So both parties are coming to Fulton County.
I live in Fulton County.
Right. And then the defendant is coming to Fulton to threaten and bother you, correct? Okay. And so I hear what you're saying, counsel. Henry County may be far away, but it's not obviously far away enough for the defendant to come to Fulton County to threaten the victim. And I'm trying to make sure that the victim is safe and also that the defendant understands that she should not and come to Fulton County. I would almost ban her from Fulton County while she's on bond to make sure she doesn't come to this county to terrorize, this victim.
Well, Your Honor, she's, like I said, she's in McDonough, and whatever Your Honor orders in terms of geography, she's going to obey that. But if that needs to change a poker place or a bar, she doesn't need a bar anyway. She's got an open case right now. So with your Honor's ruling, she's going to obey it.
What did you tell me about the defendant? She's retired or
full-time career in the military. She's
still in the military or she's out?
Retired. She does volunteer work in the community now. But she was legal clerk, then she was personnel specialist, then she was administrative specialist. That was her career. She's got diplomas beyond her associate degrees.
I'm asking about now. I'm not asking about what she did in the past. What is she doing now? Retired and running around, or what is she doing? Retired and volunteering?
Retired and volunteering.
Since I feel that there's not been the ample cooling off period, I'm not going to grant the UJR today. I'm going to grant a surety bond so that we can have the cooling off period and so that this victim will have time to take what other measures she needs to take to be safe, because it is very serious and I don't take it light, what the victim is going through. So on the DUI, it's going to be a $2,000 surety bond. On aggressive driving, $500. Actually, I'll do a split bond. So on the aggressive driving and failure to obey a stop sign, driving on the wrong side of the road, Those three, that's a $1,500 SOB jail for those three driving charges. $500 each, $1,500 SOB jail on those. And then the DUI and the following too close, that'll be $2,000 on the DUI, $1,000 on the following too close. So that's a $3,000 surety bond. So $3,000 surety and $1,500 SOB jail. And she is to emphatically, stay away from any location, have no further contact with this victim, Miss Sale. Is it Sales with an S? Yes. Stay away from Miss Sales. She must be 200 yards, which is 2 football fields away from Miss Sales. And I'm going to temporarily ban her from coming into Fulton County unless she needs medical assistance or to see her attorney. Those are only 2 reasons she should be in Fulton County. Otherwise, she should stay in Henry County where she lives. And so I'm also...
Can we include court appearances, Judge?
I'm sorry, court. Yes.
Yes.
Appearance. I better say that, huh? Because she'll say, well, you told me not to come back to Fulton. But no, only come back to Fulton for court appearances if you have to do medical care. But I think there's ample medical care in Henry. That's a slim chance to come to Fulton for that. And obviously to see your attorney or meet with your attorney. Otherwise, you should not be in Fulton County. So what that means is Miss Sales is riding around and she sees your car, sees you, she's going to call the police and hopefully they will catch you and arrest you before you make it back to the highway to get to Henry County. You are not to be around any of Miss Sales' family, friends, relatives, not to be at her job. You're not to text her. You're not to call her. You're not to email her. And I'm going to add to this that Dr. Mac Warren, that you not be around him. Is her son grown? How old is his son? Do you know, Miss Sales, how old her son is?
I think he's like 30 something years old.
He's grown. I figured he should be. All right. So Dr. Mac Warren, I'm going to order that you not be around him while you're on bond at this time. And if he chooses, I guess, to be around it, it'll be his choice. But you should not be, because then you would be in violation of your bond conditions. But I'm trying to stop this triangle here, or this circle of improper, crazy contact, to calm it down. Also, I'm going to order an ADET, and you should get that done and comply with any of the conditions that they come up with for your treatment for the alcoholism, if that is part of your problem. No unprescribed medication, drugs, alcohol, weapons, guns, or anything of that nature while on bond. Let me also say this to you, Ms. Smiley. If you have any guns of any type in your home, you need to turn them over to the sheriff's department immediately. Are we having her to bring them to if I don't want her in Fulton County, she should give them to the Henry County Sheriff. State, what do you think? Because she may obviously possess weapons.
Yes, I would agree, Your Honor.
Okay, to take them to the Henry County Sheriff?
Yes.
Okay.
Until the resolution or disposition of this case one way or another, and so that we can be sure that nothing happens. We don't need to escalate to a felony.
Correct. All right. So, counsel, I want you to make sure to inform Miss Smiley that if she has weapons, which I'm pretty sure she might have 1 or 2 or 3, she is to turn those weapons into the Henry County Sheriff Department. She can let them know her case number in Fulton, or give them your number. They can call and get a copy of the order that she must immediately, upon making bond and getting out of jail, to turn in any weapons that she has, so that she has none in her possession. Have I missed anything, state or PD?
No, Your Honor.
All right, so that's the split bond. Do you have that, Ms. Bridgewater?
Yes, ma'am, I have it.
Okay. And I don't think I've left out anything. Did I also put in there no contact with any of Miss Sales' family, friends, relatives, or her job? Just making sure all that's clear.
And acquaintances.
And acquaintances. Thank you. All right. And Miss Sales, good luck to you. And don't take any chances. Put your finger on the button for 911 and call it, okay?
I'm not going nowhere. I'm staying in my home, and hopefully this is the safest place for me.
All right. Well, take care.
Thank you so much.
All right. You're welcome.
Look at how I just got max strength generic Viagra for only $1 each from Friday Plans.
All right. Understand, I'm still holding jail time over your head. That's usually the case when they've got this many exams looking at us. Good morning. What do you got?
We have a plea charge in the Singleton case.
Come on up.
Waiting for defense counsel.
All right.
Now, do we ready on Singleton?
Gentlemen, your appearance is on Singleton.
Thank you, Your Honor. Good morning. Steve Allen on behalf of the people.
And good morning to your honor, court staff, Jonathan Roberts, P86428 on behalf of Mr. Singleton. Mr. Singleton. Statement in the court.
Thank you. What do we got?
Your Honor, with your approval, defendant will plead guilty to 2 counts. He'll plead guilty to count 3, driving while license suspended. And also, the judge added to count 4. Added count 4 is a 1-year misdemeanor known as attempt, fleeing and eluding in the 4th degree, and that would be under the penal code, Judge.
All right. And Mr. Singleton, have you discussed your rights and options with counsel? You understand those rights and the options they present to you today? You understand the possible penalty for those 2 charges? Attempt and the drove while license suspended? Understanding all of that, are you pleading guilty to those charges? Are you doing so freely and voluntarily today? Are you doing so freely and voluntarily? All right, counsel, if you would voir dire, give me the facts I need. Incident date, August 23, counsel, if that's what you're looking for.
On that date and time, Mr. Singleton, were you in a motor vehicle? Were you driving that vehicle? At some point during that evening, did you encounter the police? And did the police flick their lights on to indicate that they were initiating stop? And did you disregard those lights and continue driving down the road? At the time you were driving down the road, you did understand that those were police officers. Defense is satisfied.
All right. And at that time, was your license suspended, revoked, or denied, sir? I'll accept the plea to the added charge and dismiss original counts 1 and 2. Well, 3 was the charge, DWLS. So I'm inclined to send it for a pre-sentence investigation unless you guys try to talk me out of it.
This is the first offense. It's going to be under HIDA, I think, this court has it.
No objection to HIDA? Sorry to cut you off, counsel. All right, go ahead, counsel. Mm-hmm.
There shouldn't be any issues. Part of his conditions, I think, but they want to get that license worked on and drive for that license is,
Right. Right.
So to say, in terms of fines and costs, his family is here, has a lot of support.
Good.
First last time that is in.
No priors? Okay.
Your Honor, if I may.
Yeah, please.
Especially recommend reporting probation, no jail, under the useful phase.
Thank you. Mr. Singleton, where'd you go to high school? Graduate? You're in your senior year? What's your GPA? Yeah, and in 30 years on the bench, that means it's not nearly as high as it could be. Am I right? What are your plans post high school? Yeah, what do you plan on doing after high school? Okay. What do you have to do to get your driver's license straightened out? Has he ever had a license, counsel?
It's been tickets.
Okay.
I don't know what.
Okay.
Just the tickets or the
Right.
license.
Is that woman with the head bobbing back there, mom? Sister? I'm sorry to hear that. Can I hear from your sister? Because it sounds like she might know more about your business than you do. Is that all right? Ma'am, come on up. State your name for me. Miss Singleton, do you know the status of his license? Come on up here with a microphone so I can hear you better. You're all right, come on up. Because of too many points? Can you run it? Print it out? He got in enough to see me. That's too much. And that's too much. Yeah. His biggest trouble is because he can't tell me he's doing the best he can in school. I didn't make that kid. And the fact that you're a father is not going to make your life easier without an education. Keep talking off, bud, because I'm getting ready to send you. Keep talking. Keep flapping those jaws. Because you're telling me all I need to know about you right now.
Are you wearing 7 layers and still freezing your man nipples? You need the new 340.
You have the right to remain silent.
There is a lot there.
So shut the hell up.
Absolutely. And it all sucks. It all sucks. But every day this young man gets up and he gets to make his own choices today. And he's been making bad choices. Keep your dick in your pants. You wouldn't have a kid at 18 without a high school education. Tell me I'm wrong. Smart man, tell me I'm wrong.
Oh, shit. Oh, shit. You told him to keep his dick in his pants.
Counsel, come on up. I can't let you have it, but I want you to look at it because the way I'm reading that, it says he's eligible for restricted right now. But it's been years since I could read those because they keep changing the format and they keep making them worse. I think he's eligible for some driving privileges. Would you agree or disagree?
Suspension effective from July. I don't know how long the suspension would last. I'm fine. I mean, as a condition, I would be fine with either saying he just cannot drive without a valid license, and that would kind of solve the issue.
All right.
Your Honor, may I address the court?
Yeah, please.
Thank you, Rob. If he's convicted of suspended license, as you all know.
It's going to, yeah.
Your permission, Judge, I would like to have him plead instead of reckless driving count 2. I think there will be more benign towards his driving record.
I mean, no bad points.
It's going to be 6 points versus 2. The DWLS is 2 points.
Judge, if I may,
I'll tell you what. Hold on. Let's get outside the box a little bit. If you want to be generous, let him plead to allowing an unlicensed driver to operate, which is the same thing you'd give her if she let him drive when he was suspended, right? No points. All right. Won't stop you from straightening his license out. And I'm going to require that he get his license before he's off this HIDA, or I won't give him HIDA.
Thank you, Judge.
You understand that? So he just agreed to save you 2 points and another suspension period. Yes? When are you supposed to graduate? Mid-year or spring? All right, Mr. Singleton, I'm going to do a 12-month delayed sentence under Homes Youthful Trainee Act. I'm not going to assess any money. You will report to my probation department on a regular basis, and that could be by email. They'll work that out with you. I'm assuming you can give them transportation a couple times. All right, so as long as you're on track for the first month or two, they'll probably let you just do it on email. I'm going to require that you get your driver's license straightened out before the 12 months is up. I'm going to require that you get a high school diploma before the 12 months is up. And I'm also going to order 30 hours of community service charity work. That means you volunteer with some nonprofit agency that's registered with the IRS. Church, soup kitchen, Salvation Army, Boys and Girls Club. I don't care. As long as it's an IRS recognized nonprofit, 30 hours, document those 30 hours. And I want that done between now and December 1, 2025. Do you have any questions about what you have to do to get the benefit of HIDA? All right. Understand, I'm still holding jail time over your head. Make my tail wag or you probably will go to jail. You understand that? All right. Now, I have to say this or I will not sleep tonight. Dude, I am glad I didn't have your problems as a kid. But with respect, with sympathy, I want you to hear what I'm about to tell you. The world does not give a shit if your life sucks till you're dead because of the problems you had in your youth. The world doesn't care. Okay? If I had a magic wand, I would tap you on the head and give you a perfect childhood. I can't do that, but I can tell you what I know after 40 years in this business. Dude, you got to make your own future. Your past does not define your future. Your past sucks. I hear it. All right, I'm sympathetic, but man up. Every morning you get up and make good decisions. You work hard. You sacrifice now so you don't have to sacrifice when you're 50 and 60. Because if you don't start doing things better, you know what you're doing? Your child is going to have the struggles you've had. You want a boy or a girl? Girl. You want that for your little girl? Hell no. Quit focusing on the past, the things that didn't happen the way they should have, and seize the future, man. All right, I'll sleep tonight. Anything else, counsel? All right, he needs to go down to probation. Sister, thank you. You're welcome, counsel.
We have several other things in the way.
I'm ready. Been ready all morning. You guys all sisters? Bless your hearts. He don't.
All right. So that is it for today. Ladies and gentlemen, so I'm going to be working, if I can get somebody, let me borrow their cell phone, I can use to verify that account. And I'm going to go ahead and try to do that this week and get the account, the new channel verified, and then start taking the stuff off taking all the court stuff off this channel and removing it and then putting it on the new channel. So it's a work. I never stop working. It's just never ending. I'm looking for courts and stuff like that. So that's it for today. Tomorrow is our landlord-tenant docket. That didn't change. I'm gonna slither off of here when I'm done and go lay in my bed for a few minutes because my foot is killing me. So you all have a wonderful evening. Ta-ta, ciao. I will see some of you again tomorrow. So you all have a wonderful evening. God bless you, and thank you for watching, and thank you for supporting my channel. You all have a good one.
Come down to it all with your tools in hand, making magic flow. Every broken part, you help me grow. You fix it all, you fix it all. Daniel, you make it right. Daniel, everything's right when I'm falling apart. You put me back together. Daniel, you make it better. From the wires tangled up to the broken dreams, you know how to mend all my scattered seams. With your steady hands, you refill my heart. Every piece that's lost gets a brand new start. You fix it all, you fix it all. Daniel, you make it right. Daniel, everything's bright when I'm falling apart. You put me back together. Daniel, you make it better. Fix it, Daniel, make it right when the world shuts down, and I can't see clear. You're my solid ground, always drawing near. Never give up on this heart of mine. Put it back together every single time. Tall to all you do. From the highest peak, I can see it through. With your care and touch, everything's okay.